And right now on pole, Dale Jr.
We welcome you back live to the Daytona International Speedway and pole qualifying for next Sunday's Daytona 500. You'll see it at noon Eastern here on Fox. Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, and right now, Jeff, an impressive front row of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon, a couple of guys trying to end losing streaks. 93 races for Earnhardt Jr., 65 for Jeff Gordon, as we get a check of Robbie Gordon going around the track.
And the thing was, I mean, Rick Hendrick's got to be excited about the switch he made with the crew chiefs, helping these drivers, and the drivers responding. And was that ghost car not one of the coolest things you've seen? Because I know as a former crew chief, that would help me understand where my car got beat and what I might need to work on to make it better for my driver. Because you're always wondering, where did you lose that little bit of speed that could have put you on the pole?
Yeah, and how does the ghost car, how does it help fans sometimes get an understanding of how important, when you, like Darrell was talking about, taking a corner, losing it, you lose a little bit of speed if you get outside instead of hugging the line.
You talk about how you turn the wheel and how the car handles and how the car yaws out. All these things are so important to a driver. And we talk about a driver, the importance of what he does behind the wheel. I think you could finally get an illustration of how Earnhardt's line and how good he was, you know, really helped pay off for him in the end. Holding that line as tight around the racetrack as possible. As we take a look at Robbie Gordon, he currently winds up being 31st at about 182 miles an hour in that new Dodge of his.
Who's a threat of those remaining to maybe knock Dale Jr. out of the top spot?
You know, the one guy we better not overlook has to be the man who set one of the fastest laps here, and that's Bill Elliott in that Phoenix Racing 09 car, because they have been good in practice, and Bill knows how to run those smooth lines around here, and that's also one of those cars that still got Hendrick power under the hood, so don't overlook him.
All right, and let's check in with Chris Devotis. She's with Denny Hamlin.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, and want to talk about his new business partner, Denny Hamlin, now teamed up with Michael Jordan. Turn around, show us the Jordan logo on the fire suit. There you go. Did your business partner call you last night and talk to you about that move you made on the racetrack?
No, but plenty of people on Twitter did, that's for sure. But you know, it's just one of those things. It's a learning experience for everyone last night. Everyone that was in that race, it was a different type of racing for sure. So for me, I might stick to my guns, say I was past them before I went below the yellow line, but you know, the rules are you can't go down there. So for me, it wasn't worth wrecking all four cars, and more than likely that's what would have been the outcome if I had stayed on the racetrack.
All right. Thanks, Denny.
And let's not forget, folks, Denny Hamlin won the Budweiser Shootout in his rookie year. He is no stranger to victory lane here at Daytona. Spoiler check going on Hamlin's car.
And make sure each driver that goes out that the angle in that spoiler is the same 70 degrees.
And it's got adjusters on the back there that's how they stand it up or let it down. Most times stand it up a little bit more.
Martin Truex Jr. won the pole for the 500 2 years ago. Last year moved over to Michael Waltrip Racing and finished 6th in the 500 in his debut for that team. That's his best Daytona finish in 11 starts.
And I would say of all the drivers that made changes for 2010, this is probably one of the ones that ended up being disappointed the most. Just always seemed like Martin was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and had the crew chief over there with him, Pat Tryson, that came from Penske, and so they want to put 2010 behind them and get 2011 up and going.
The silver lining in that cloud was Martin's younger brother, Ryan Truex, who also came to Michael Waltrip Racing and won NASCAR's Camping World East Championship for them.
We know that Martin certainly loves the outdoors, fishing and hunting, and something that he's really taken on a huge support of is what they call Keep America Fishing, which works to keep our oceans, lakes, rivers, streams open, clean, and full of fish.
First lap for Truex, 49.80. That's around the top 25 of best first laps.
A lot like David Rudiman, his teammates. Father's always around, Buzzy Rudiman. I saw Martin Sr. He's usually hanging around with the boys, putting in his 2 cents worth.
And like David's dad, Martin's dad had a lot of success, especially up at Loudon, New Hampshire.
Yes, sir.
In what was the Busch North Series then?
Always had beautiful race cars. Real, I think they were called poppy red, real bright orange.
Talked early in the show that the Toyota camp just didn't seem to have the speed for qualifying. This is a Toyota. Right now, only one Toyota in the top 20, and that's his teammate, David Ruderman, we just spoke about.
28 for Truex with a 49.05, 183.4. Next Sunday, America's Best compete in racing's biggest event here at the newly paved Daytona International Speedway. We expect a lot of three-wide racing. Will they pair up? Will there be freight train drafts? You're going to have to tune in to see what we think will be the most competitive and exciting 500 in recent history. The Daytona 500 pre-race show delivered by Pizza Hut gets us going next Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific in high definition, only on Fox.
Well, how competitive will it be? How about all those lead changes last night in 75 laps?
Last night in the Bud Shootout, we had more lead changes in just 75 laps. The Daytona 500 is 200 laps. Half the Daytona 500s didn't have as many lead changes as we had last night. Today's aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Everything we've learned making tires for one of racing's most grueling proving grounds inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
And that's also a rarity. I don't think I've heard a soul say a word about tires.
And that's a beautiful thing.
It is. It really is. I know. Oh, what's this all about? Man, he's got something.
Whoa,
on his
trouble
car.
for Hamlin.
The right front tire is headed toward the infield, right where he is.
What in the world?
Looks like the steering locked to the left, all the way to the left.
Car owner Joe Gibbs looking on and looking for the replay.
And looking rather worried as well.
Now let's watch this. Now Hamlin's getting away from the grass. Now he's still on the clock. And he pulls away as a crewman looks attentively underneath the car.
Now, didn't they change the engine in this car, Larry?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they were going to have to start the race at the back of the dual races on Thursday.
That car, it is. It's just locked full left lock.
Never seen anything like that before.
So since the engine change, since practice, the car's not been on the racetrack.
No.
They've rolled it around the garage through inspection, but nobody's driven it. They push it through inspection and push it out to the line.
But he's out on the racetrack now, and I mean, he's about to try to go 180 something miles an hour with a car that just was locked up to the left.
Got the tape. Not going to be a very good lap because the tape's shoved up off the opening in the grill there. That'll slow it down. Plus, I don't know if he had any damage from running it through the grass over there or not. But Larry, I wonder if one of those manual steering boxes, maybe they've gone to that, and for some reason something worked just right. But the other thing is, Mike, I think you might be onto something too.
If the steering wheel, which fits on over splines and is locked onto that column with a spring-loaded retainer, if that steering wheel comes off, what are the wheels going to do? Go dead left.
Yeah. Yeah, because these steering wheels have a quick release on it to where the driver can get in and out of the race car with ease.
There's more to this story. But you
look,
can see
there's no damage to the car with the new nose on these cars. They're quite resilient.
Oh, yeah. The old style car, the way the splitter was, I mean, it would have destroyed it. The one thing that's going to hurt it, and I think Darrell mentioned it, it's pulled that tape up. You want as much tape on that nose as you can. That really helps the straightaway speed.
I think what he's really doing here is, since they had an engine change, just put a couple laps on it and see if there's anything else if everything else is all right.
Because I briefly mentioned that when you change an engine per the NASCAR rule, the next race, which in the case of what we have down here would be the dual races on Thursday, you're going to have to start at the rear anyhow. I think that's all he's trying to do, get a couple laps, because they won't be back on the racetrack until practice on Wednesday.
So a very strange start to this qualifying run for Denny Hamlin, but he gets it up and going. He'll complete his 2-lap run. And Hamlin will be 34th.
And whatever it was, he knows what it was.